I guess the first time that I realised like I could be kind of creative and kind of imitate the sort of things that I found interesting was working with it was I think a Casio CZ230S workstation, which was like a really early kind of like music production thing, kind of a crappy kind of Casio synth. And I used to sort of copy like Jean-Michel Jarre and the Eurythmics and sort of Jam and Lewis productions and all those sorts of things. And I guess that sort of made me realise that, sort of making things and creating stuff isn't sort of out of reach. It's actually, all of this stuff is kind of within sort of the reach of normal people. I think that the more people you've got that you trust and you respect and you have great relationships with, you can come up with more interesting ideas because people have different frames of reference, different understandings, different talents, and different things they like, different things they don't like. So, I find it much more rewarding to work with other people than just work as a solo. I think that I'm interested in quite a lot of things. This last year, we launched a sportswear brand. I helped rebrand a Swiss bank. I've launched a record label, and we're working on a new magazine project. So maybe too many projects I think I've taken on, but I'm interested in all of those things. And I think a lot of people, particularly I think in design, sort of would see finance as being very boring and very dull. But the particular Swiss bank that I work for, Purdey, they have an incredible photography prize, for example. They have really interesting way in which they talk to their customers. They're an amazing organisation. They're 200 years old. That's completely different from working in sportswear. But actually, I find both of those things fascinating. I find them interesting. Just people should, and particularly designers. Now, as a designer, a sort of recovering designer myself, I just think that people, those ideas you come up with in the bath or at the pub with your mates chatting, you should do those things. And the only way you're going to be able to do those things is to set aside time to do them. And that means making sacrifices and getting rid of Facebook and watching TV. You find that with a lot of creative people, whether they're musicians or artists. I certainly don't consider myself an artist, but I share the same thing, that it's not so much about, I want to do more work. It's a kind of, I have to. It's just what I do. And I think that is there's a sort of slightly obsessive thing about it, a slightly obsessive angle that is about, I need to be doing this thing, as opposed to produce it. It's not about the end, as I said before. It's not about the end product. It's about doing it, and I just kind of have to kind of keep on doing different things.